see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Thursday, March 28th, 2024, and this is episode 644 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled, It's a Trap, and I'll be chatting about a possible whistleblower situation, undercover comms, Reynolds stock is going up, and so much more. But first, let's check out in the live stream, see if anybody's hanging out, see what they have to say, and we'll grab a cup of coffee and hang out for an hour. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Rewild their life. Good morning. How are you in early? Quiet in the chat these last couple days early. The early folks, the super early folks have gone on to other ventures at 3 a.m. I don't blame them. I think some of them, this was their weekend, so it is what it is. Good morning, Hunter. Thanks for swinging in over on Twitch. How are we doing? What's in the cup this morning? I'm getting close to the end of this silver bullet blend, and man, it's good. I think there's another bag, and I'll just save it. When the universe thinks it's time, it's time. I got them up in the cupboard there, and I just randomly grab them up after I shake them, or after I mix them all up and throw them up in the cupboard. Then I just randomly grab the ones off the top. So if it's meant to be, silver bullet next in line. When I finish this bag, we'll reach up and grab the next one, and silver bullet will appear. So we will see. We will see. That's the great part about getting coffee, that when it's all good, doesn't matter which one you grab. It's just a different flavor of good. Rewild Life is having a chicory and coffee latte. Interesting. Chicory. Chicory, is that for flavor is it for flavor or is it for medicinal-ish, benefit or flavor only? Heard of the flavor for sure. But today I want to get into it. I got some things that piled up yesterday. Yesterday was a lot of product research for me. I did a bunch of computer work, a lot of stuff that was pretty boring and not a whole lot to talk about. But Corey and I were bouncing back TikToks, and there was some chatter going on in the chat, and it definitely provided a few topic fodder. A few topic fodder points for the show. So let's get rolling with it. Rewiler Life says it's a root. It has inulin, which is a prebiotic, but it tastes good too. Okay. I was trying to decide if you misspelled insulin or if it was actually inulin. That's how much I know. Anyway, Daily Stoic yesterday was interesting. I really enjoy the book, guys. I'm really enjoying it. I wholeheartedly, it's not like a half-assed, the affiliate links in the video description. I'd buy it again kind of thing. Like, I would buy it again. And I think if something happened in my book, like right now, if I was standing here and all of a sudden a vulture came and stole my book, I would probably order one immediately. I don't think this is something that I don't think it's something I want to get out of the habit of doing, first of all, but I also find enough benefit to it on a daily basis to understand its value to me at this point. And you may or may not get that out of it, but definitely a good way to set the tone for your day, reading that small passage. Good morning, Backwoods Busher. How we doing? Thanks for swinging in. And K-Bonk, good morning to you also. I hope you're doing well and everything is good there. But Daily Stoic yesterday talked about the real wealth, the true wealth and cost of things, the true value of things, I guess. And just one quote in there, one line in the whole passage just kind of stuck out, and it was sitting in my head long enough that I put it in the show notes. So just wanted to read that and touch on it a little bit, and then we'll get into the trap, possible whistleblower situation that we ran into yesterday. But the quote from the Daily Stoic yesterday in there, and it wasn't even the actual like meat of any of it. But it said the market may be rational. So like the free market, as in pricing, is what they were talking about. It says the market may be rational, but the people in it are not. And I was like, all right. And they were kind of taking a jab at the free market people, like the market will set the price. The market will set the price. And I was like, are they actually arguing against it, or are they arguing for it? And I started wondering if, like, we all know that the corporate greed and all that really, really drives government subsidies. But at a point, I'm wondering if a good product had to be subsidized because the people in the market were irrational and didn't buy the good product. And I think I've run into stuff like that, like pricing products on the farm. And I think people in this space that understand good food, understand good quality food, raised, pasture raised chicken, pasture raised beef, pork, all of that in these communities that we're in. I think the people understand that the price is going to be higher. But I think the irrational people in the market are the obstacle, because they're going to the store and going, oh, well, a dozen eggs is 99 cents. And I paid over $5 a dozen to feed my chickens. But they're like, whoa, that it can't be that much better. I think that's an irrational thought. And so, yeah, it kind of messes with markets. I don't know. That's just, I've only had a quarter cup of coffee, guys. So take for that what you will. Canadian Farmstead, good morning. Thanks for swinging in. Backwoods Butcher says, oh, dealing with a cold running through the house. Shut the door. Get control over those colds. And Chris Dixon says, morning, Chris. And he says, if you sign up for the emails, and I did, I don't ever mention that, but I do get the emails also. You can sign up for free for the daily emails. And as Chris mentions, they don't have anything to do with the book. Like it's not like in tandem. It's actually a double dose. It's a double dose of pimping. If you sign up for the emails, you get a daily reminder and a good message nonetheless. But yes, completely unrelated to the book. So take that for what it is too. Let's move on. First thing on the list is something that old Mr. Farmstead here in the comments, Canadian Farmstead, posed in the Telegram group yesterday. And he brought up, we were talking about the fish doorbell. Back again. This thing is fantastic. I asked yesterday who had watched it. There were a few people that had watched it. Rachel mentioned that she had watched it a while and has yet to see a fish. I'm kind of upset that you guys are all blocking me out now, that I can't even get the doorbell. All I get is the YouTube live feed, and I can't even ring the bell even if I did see a fish. But yeah, the fish doorbell. We got talking about it. Chris Dixon says he's watching it right now. Are you watching? Are you getting in? Because there were 1,100 people when I tried to log on before the show. And Canadian Farmstead absolutely. Mike's Homestead said he was watching just after the show yesterday, and he got to see a fish. Did you hit the doorbell, or were you locked out? Were there too many people? I want to hit the doorbell, and I want to hit the doorbell so bad when there's not a fish there, but I don't want to be that guy. Like, don't push the button. Just start pushing the button. Yeah, yeah. Anyway. Uh, Reweiler life's upset because she hasn't seen a fish yet. But Canadian Farmstead brought up an interesting point, and he's like, "What if this is all a Dutch AI social experiment? How like how fucked up would that be?" And it got me thinking. It got me thinking. Like, is it AI? Is it literally some dude just fucking with everybody and it's like in his swimming pool in his backyard or something? Like there's no distinguishing factors other than some bubbles. Like it could be on a 5-hour loop. He could have just stuck his GoPro down in the pond behind his house and it's just on a constant loop. I don't know. Like there's no proof that this isn't Mike's Homestead had the doorbell, but he only got a quick glimpse and he didn't hit. You missed your opportunity. You don't even understand how much you could wander through the rest of your life and never have the opportunity to hit the fish doorbell again. But what if it is Chris Dixon says it's in the internet, so it has to be true. What if it is an experiment? What if it Rachel says bring back Lost? What if it is what if like if you've seen Lost when they were hitting the button and they didn't know if it was just a mind game, whether if they didn't hit the button if something was going to happen or not, when you start wondering, is this thing that's drawing 1,000 people at a time to watch a screen with nothing on it, is it an experiment? Are they logging IPs and going, some dude in fucking Tennessee won't turn this shit off? Like viewing habits and shit like that. Is that going on? We know that Hunter ended up having to watch Lost now. And Hunter, I wasn't sure, is that did it show up in the ads on your TV, or were you saying that now you have to watch it because we mentioned it? I don't know. What happened? How does it how do you know it's not? Oh, it's all me. Canadian Farm says counting the button presses with no fish visible. Chris Dixon says, I don't think the Dutch care that much about us. They only want to carve their wooden shoes and sit in their windmills. They don't care if we're pressing the button or not. Oh, the wife heard you talking about it. Oh, you're lucky. Where are we at the end of season 3, Corey? We're on season 4. It's gotten interesting. I'm hoping it gets better because it got worse. I have a theory, and this theory really holds true in reality television from what I've seen. This is like the hard and fast rule for my TV viewing experience for my whole life. You got reality TV, you got sitcoms. Tonight's episode 3, season 1. All right, cool. Do you listen to the show separate from your wife? Because you're gonna know I can like feed you insider information. You can be like, I bet this is gonna happen, like the most off the wall thing, and she's gonna be like, what? So TV shows, I've noticed, reality, which we know is scripted, Kyle. Survivor scripted, Kyle. By the way, have you heard anything from Survivor, my man? You haven't mentioned it in a while. We know that sitcoms or drama TV, the hour-long shows, they're all written, but reality shows are written also. And I've noticed a pattern over my immense TV viewing history, which I used to watch a shitload more than I do now. But third season, that's the tipping point. First season's usually good. If it's going to be decent, if it's going to be watchable, you can watch episode 1, maybe episode 2, and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. This is good. This is worth my time watching. Entertainment, education, whatever reason you're shutting your brain off. That's why I watch TV now. It's just to do nothing with my brain. But you can watch a couple episodes. If it's decent at the beginning, usually the first season is good. Second season is usually better or at least as good. And then the vast majority of shows, like I would say over 90%, season 3, and it's a downward spiral from there. And I don't know if it's they throw an idea out there and it sticks and they make it through a season. They're excited. They continue on the course. They stay the course for season 2. And then either A, they're like, we need to make it even better, or B, we don't have anything else to fucking write about, so we got to make shit up on the fly. I don't know if that's how it rolls, but that's the pattern I've discerned. If you look back at the shows that you like, there's always the ones that make the long term, like the Seinfelds and the Cheers and different ones. But it seems the majority of shows seem to follow this couple season, and then Chris Dixon says we start off watching shows and then my wife will binge watch and I give up and go make noise in the shop. Corey and I used to have that problem. There was a point where I worked this weird shift where I worked 12, actually it was more like 14-hour days when we were still in the cities and we weren't farming and all of that stuff. We worked different shifts. I worked like this weird long, it was a 12-hour shift. It was more like 13 to 14 hours. But I worked like 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off, like back and forth. And she worked a normal Monday through Friday. And so I was in this weird sleep pattern. Like I was drinking so much caffeine that I couldn't fall asleep. So on my days before my day off, I'd be like all wired up trying to fall asleep at night. And I would just go lay on the couch so I didn't keep her up, and I would watch TV. And we had to have a rule that I couldn't watch the shows. This was like when you could watch shows. This was probably in the mid 2000s. So not DVR quite yet, but you could watch replays live. And so I had to have separate shows that I watched because I would watch like 100 episodes overnight. I think it was Netflix at that point. I was watching like The Blacklist and things like that. And I would find things that she really wasn't interested in. So she wasn't mad if I watched like 4 episodes in a night. But then we had stuff that we would watch together, and I couldn't go ahead. She would get mad. So I had to pump the brakes on those. So I had to have a whole list of shows that I watched by myself. Mike Homestead says CSI is where I saw that first couple seasons were somewhat realistic, but as seasons passed, the crimes became ridiculous. Yeah, I guess what would it be, like Law and Order? But has Law and Order actually been there for the long haul because they've had to splinter off into 18 different subdivisions? Special Victims Unit, and where there multiple cities in Law and Order or something. I don't know. I remember watching the old original one, and I remember when CSI came out, and I was not CSI, SVU, Special Victim. Mariska Hargitay is all I have to say. Mariska Hargitay, in her younger days, may or may not have watched the show for that. But that's kind of like my theory on TV anymore. Even I guess movies you don't really get trilogies beyond a trilogy, and if you do, it's got its own rabid fans. It really doesn't matter. But that's what I'm kind of seeing. Love Guru. The Love Guru. That's what I'm kind of seeing with Lost, and I'm hoping it gets better. I'm hoping it doesn't. I think it peaked in 2 or 3, and I don't know. I can't tell if it's going to continue going down or if it's going to right the ship and at least stay level Fast and the Furious. How many are there? Like 13? There might be 13 Fast and the Furious by now. They should have realized once Paul Walker went too fast that they should have canceled the series. It was too fast, too furious. Kyle says there's 10. Are you a Fast and the Furious fan, Kyle? Are you a FFF? Fast and Furious fan? Oh God. Please help me. Please help me. Let's see. Anyway, so I've been contemplating since that dropped in my Telegram chat yesterday. Is the fish doorbell a trap? Is it a trap? Is this a big social experiment, or are we just having fun watching the fish in the water? Does it really matter? Does it really matter? Next thing on the list here today was something that kind of spawned out of that. It was a mix, actually Lost. Okay, we're going to tie this all together. I didn't even think about that. We got the live stream. We got the possibility of ulterior motives with the live stream. We were talking about Lost a little bit here, and I think I have that on my list down a little further about another topic about Lost. But this kind of got wrapping around in my head after we started talking to the Telegram group about the Russian number stations in the Cold War and MK Ultra and covert comms and things like that. And I'm thinking there needs to be a resurgence of that kind of Cold War cloak and dagger communications. And it might still be going on. I'm sure it is, actually. I'm sure it is. But I don't take part in it, but I would like to see a resurgence of it. And what I'm talking about is sending messages where people would never see them. Hunter says the chair is on the table, 26, 45, 32, 73, 12. Activate. You forgot activate. No, but seriously, like I was kind of talking to Hunter a little bit about an idea I had about live streaming his rabbits. Some other people are talking about, I should live stream my animals, this and that. And setting up these live streams. We have live stream podcasts. There's people like the fish doorbell, all of that stuff. Now, if you had, and I'm probably blowing everyone's secrets right here, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, you can't believe you told everybody that. That's the beauty of it. If you have a network of people that see each other in person and that can communicate not via recordable text and all of this, you could say, hey, I found this really cool I found this really cool live stream that's on 24/7, and I think we should communicate through the live stream. Neither person is related to it all. They could start dropping messages either in code or not. Really, if you're in a live stream chat and you just see a random wonky message, you just figure it's a bot or something, or somebody typed it at the wrong time, or it's just not in context or whatever. You can put it in code, you can put it in not code, but you say, we will communicate between 2 in the morning and 3 in the morning on XYZ live stream. Like, who is tracking you enough as you bomb through all these different things on the internet on a daily basis and you pop into a live stream and check on it? Who's to say you're not just like checking for the fish? Backwoods Butcher says it's not a secret. No, but it is, though. It is a secret. In the last 5 years, dude, you gotta realize that you're just a young pup. Usually it's video games. I know the video games. But in reality, if someone like, now I'm going to burn Hunter's opportunity, he's not going to be able to do this, but if somebody like Hunter wanted to be the hub of communication, innocuous signage, innocuous items in the screen when everybody's coming to see the fuzzy bunnies, but Hunter has a green check mark on his whiteboard in the background where he's tracking his rabbit stats or whatever is in the background, his advertising. Well, it happens to have a green check mark in the corner, in the bottom right-hand corner, instead of the left bottom corner has a red check mark. I mean, there's some really deep shit you can get into and some really, really covert ops because of the explosion of this type of thing on the internet. Rewire Life says, my father-in-law worked at a base that did some pretty cool stuff during the Cold War. It certainly was a thing, for sure. Backwoods Butcher says, I've already been sending coded messages in my TikTok lives. What, to vegans or something? And Rewilder Life says, yeah, Kyle, it's been the last 5 years. Her father-in-law's been working on it, and he turns 90 this year. Probably when he was 85, he was digging into doing coding in video games. Youngster. But I think it's the core, it's the reculmination of the Cold War type of stuff. In plain sight, hiding in plain sight. The number stations are the big mystery, because it was right out there for anybody to listen to. What does it mean? Maybe nothing. Maybe that was the whole point, was noise for the majority of it. Maybe 99 out of 100 number stations meant nothing, but one did. It's the whole theory behind encrypting every message you send, especially the ones that don't mean anything, to waste time and resources. When you're sending stupid jokes back and forth to your friends in a medium that allows encryption, and you're worried about a surveillance situation, encrypt everything and send innocuous messages on purpose that are encrypted just to waste their time. So let's start loading up things with innocuous coded messages everywhere. It's going to be good. It's going to save our communication going forward in the surveillance state. So, Ruiler Life says kids do this with video games. I know abused kids do this, code words, numbers, etc. Yep. Hunter says, do you think the feds enjoy dad jokes that are encrypted? They might. When they translate them out, do you think the guy just chuckles? And he's like, son of a bitch. Do you think that that there's somebody trying to break code? Well, it's probably a computer doing it, but a guy sitting there, and they intercept this big long message, and it's encrypted, and the computer just fucking, like it ramps up, you can hear it, it's like just spinning its wheels because this is a really good code, and it spits out this gibberish at the end, and the guy hits like redo, it didn't work, and it just continues to grind, and it spits out the same thing, and the computer's basically like, this is right, and it's just gibberish, just random gibberish that the guy encrypted. And the Fed's sitting there going, really? Rewilder Life says the yellow sweatshirt 2 days in a row. It was cold this morning. I had to pick it up. It is 2 days in a row. The bloody cat walked across the keyboard. I don't have cats, but sure. Rewilder Life was saying that the duck on the cup, or the order of the ducks over on the ledge there. Kyle said it was just trying to caption him speaking. They don't have New England as a language selection. You weren't that bad. I was surprised, as far up there in the corner as you are, that you didn't have a thicker accent. So there is that. But yeah, that's something to think about when you get with your folks that you don't want people spying on you. Think of some alternative modes of communication that you might want to have ready. Hard to caption New Hampshire gangsta. How was that, Kyle? Could I fit in up there? I usually adapt pretty well to the surrounding areas, like the tooth. I'm just blending in. Gray man, you got to be the gray man. Book cipher. Rewilder Life says book cipher, but that's going to get hard. I think book cipher is going to get pretty hard as the books disappear and as mass printing, as books disappear to digital and mass printing took over. Book cipher got really hard because if you are off at all, version, printing, binding company, online version, it gets really, really hard. That's the problem. That's why we have to move into the digital age with our covert spy communications. Kyle says books, I'm out. Reading? I have to read? Reality Life says, I have so many books, but you can make notes in Google Books for others online. What is Google Books? And anything with Google in front of it. Pickle Pete says he's been heckling me in secret in the open. Brian's been commenting for the first half an hour. Oh man. Pickle Pete's been commenting his Food Forest Farms for the last half an hour. Wonder why no one's talking to him. Chris Dixon says he just picked up a book about grafting trees, and it's been translated and reads like a set of instructions for cheap furniture. Oh, why you got a book with all these words crossed out? I don't know. Why'd you just buy a case of brand new books? They're all the same. I really like it. I want to give it to all my friends. Oh yeah. Next on the list, man, the Reynolds company right now. I gotta tell you guys, their stock has got to be rolling right through the roof. And if you don't get the reference, and I imagine they make Reynolds wrap still. And I think that went to a generic. I think Reynolds company started making all sorts of stuff, but Reynolds wrap, to me, when you say Reynolds wrap, that's aluminum foil, tin foil, right? Is Reynolds wrap? Did they go? So Saran wrap, Saran was the plastic stuff. Reynolds wrap was always the aluminum foil, unless you happen to buy the butcher paper, because Reynolds, I believe, made the white paper also. But Reynolds, in my mind, when I hear Reynolds wrap, It's the blue and the pink box, the long pink box that you pull it out. You can never tear the fucking thing off because the cutter thing is all wonky. That one, Reynolds. Their stock has got to be going through the roof. With the Eclipse, Kyle said they just called it tinfoil. It's aluminum, asshole. Sorry. From the peanut gallery back there. She says that they did just started calling it tinfoil. Dollar store foil suck. Oh, you got to go with the heavy duty Reynolds wrap. You got to spend the extra to get the decent stuff. But their stock has got to be going up between the Eclipse, and now, and it's tinfoil hat. No one wears aluminum foil hats. Kyle says hello, Corey. Heavy doodle tinfoil. Heavy duty. It's for your heavy duty. So with the Eclipse, I've seen so many different theories. Like this is just it's blossoming. It's like a bloom, a coffee bloom. When the water hit it, when the eclipse was going to happen, it was just like this little bubbling, super fresh coffee. So the bloom just explodes. This is like stuff that got roasted right into the bag, and it was the first bag open. It went in. The water hits it, the eclipse. It just starts this little off gassing of ideas. Oh my God, the eclipse, X marks the spot, and it just is gone like this. I can't even count the number of different paths that it's going down. I can't even keep track of all the different theories. And I was like, wow, this is the conspiracy theorist wet dream here with the eclipse and the election. I'm like, Reynolds Company is a definite buy. And then this fucking ship hits this bridge. And as soon as it happened, I'm pretty sure the other morning when it had just happened, I sat here and said, oh, just wait. It's not going to matter actually what happened. There's going to be 100 different theories of it was on purpose, it was an accident, it was the government, it was terrorists. 4 hours later, here they come. Buckle up. Go get some tinfoil. Because holy shit. Backward says that the eclipse is on his birthday. I'm excited. It's I am excited for nothing to happen. It's going to be an interesting show on the 9th. Rewilder Life says is this why metal roof was out of our price range? All the tinfoil hats. Yes. Wait. Kyle says, did you see, Backwoods Butcher, did you see the deer hides in the ocean, supposedly from the ship? What? Corey saw them. I didn't. She didn't send them to me. I don't know about deer hides in the ocean. Why are there deer hides in the ocean? Pickle Pete says, ESG in full swing, lots of infrastructure heading to the ground. Kyle says the only conspiring he's worried about is if he's getting his birthday ahead. He said blowy. I have to put a call into your better half. Pickle P says they were smuggling deer hides. Maybe they might have been smuggling deer hides, but when I first read Kyle's message, I thought it said, did you see the deer hiding in the ocean? Like, what are they? They running to the beach and swimming out into the ocean to hide? What possible loony bin? What possibly? Backwoods Butcher says you're not going to tell her anything she doesn't know. I'm going to console her in the fact that that is not a requirement for a wife. I'm curious what you could legitimately come up with for a nefarious plot for deer hides. Like, legitimately in Minnesota during hunting season, they would have orange boxes out that you could donate the hides to different things. And you throw them in the box at like any gas station. There's just like a wooden box in the parking lot come deer season. And you just open it up, throw your deer hide in. Well, nine winters out of 10 during deer season, it's cold enough for them not to rot. Well, every once in a while, they it was so warm that the things would just start rotting in there. And you'd like get near the box and you're like, oh. If it was one that was like kind of out in the country and they hadn't been there to pick it up in a while and the sun had been beating on it, had been like 50 degrees during hunting season. Like, they just throw them away. Just throw them away. Hunter says, Gavin says there's a plague you can get from deer hide. Okay. Leather gloves. They're cornering the leather glove market. Back with Pickle Pete says, what? I'm guessing he was talking about that's not her wifely duties on his birthday every year. I mean, a generous wife on the birthday, if the husband deserves it. I don't think that you can require them to do anything because I'm pretty sure that's like slavery or something. Backwards, I don't think it was anything crazy. It was a vegan. Oh, God. Oh, the turns, the twists and turns. Yeah, so deer hides floating in the ocean. I don't know. Her name is Toby. Toby Perot. I gotta get her a t-shirt that says Toby Perot. Spelled phonetically. Oh no. Anyway, the bridge stuff, guys. I'll probably talk about it a lot tomorrow because it's gonna be another. I saw it on TikTok conspiracy day tomorrow. It's insane. It is literally insane how many different versions of explanations you can get from one 20-second clip. Back with Butcher says she won't understand the Roots reference. How, isn't she older than you by like a decade or something? Can get Lyme. Yeah, Lyme's disease from the ticks. That's not from the deer hides. Chronic wasting disease isn't transferable to humans, from what I understand. Prion disease, but back to the bridge. It's really blowing my mind. So everybody's seeing the clip. In the dark, the ship's coming. The lights go out. The lights come on. The lights go out. The ship turns. It hits the pillar. The thing collapses. Kyle says she's also never seen. She is a decade older than him, but she's also never seen Roots. I don't know why her being a decade older than him would preclude her from knowing Roots. Roots came out in the 70s. Rewild the life says chronic wasting's brain and spine. Yeah, but it's not transferable from deer to humans, I believe. But yeah, the bridge. 20-second video, I think it is all, like, when the ship is coming. And man, it is not hard. Like, if you watch that video with the sound off, with no biases, which is kind of odd. The video is very odd. It doesn't look it looks to me on purpose. And I'm not saying it is. Like, I have never captained a ship bigger than like 15 feet. So I don't know what happens. I have never been on a cargo ship. I've never been on a ship that big. But to me, for a ship to turn that abruptly, someone has to be doing that on purpose. K-Bonk says Joe fully funding rebuild. Yeah. Backwards Butcher says, see, I never thought of a conspiracy about a bridge. I look at it as more of an instruct. So you think that a bridge falling down when an enormous ship runs into it is the bridge being in bad condition? I don't know if bridges are meant to withstand a cargo ship running into the pillar. So is that an infrastructure problem, or is that a boat ran into the thing? Like, if a plane crashes into the highway and the highway is impassable, is that infrastructure, or is that a plane fucking blew it up? I don't know. Pickle P says they would have had to know they were going to hit that bridge for 5 minutes. But did you see the abrupt turn quickly, or like really close to when it hit the pillar? Dixon says it's part of the Build Back Better plan. Hunter says the boat did Mayday. Someone did ask about tugs. Yeah. But if I was going to run a ship into a bridge and I wanted it to make it look like an accident, I would for sure be calling a Mayday. I'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't steer the ship!" Boom. Backwoods says from what he's heard, the bridge shouldn't have come down. I mean, maybe not collapse the way it did. I did see some dude that was like circling mystery explosions at the top of the bridge that may have been. So I want to really have an open mind when I look at everything. And I have to admit, I saw the little explosions he was talking about at the top. But I want to rationalize that as there had to be electricity running up there for lights. And I've seen when electric gets pulled apart. I've seen video of it. I've seen it in person. And there's an explosion, especially when it's dark. And there's a lot of juice running through there, running those lights up on the top. So if that bridge was coming down, it doesn't necessarily mean that it blew up and then fell down. It could have been pulling apart and explode and flashing at that point. But yeah, I don't know. Did it have to be blown up to come down like that? Oh boy. Oh, got everybody fired up here. Backwards Butcher says 15-minute city coming in Baltimore. K-Bong says they dropped the wrong anchor. I saw somebody that was a longtime Navy guy saying that that anchor couldn't even have possibly started to twist that ship that fast. Yeah, it was interesting. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at this. Good morning, John Palmer. Everybody has their bridge series. Shit, just my audience alone will tick up the Reynolds wrap stock. Holy shit, guys. Pickle Pete says he had the wheel hard over as they regained power. I've driven a boat, a small boat, and I just don't think momentum works that way. That's a lot of weight moving in one direction for it to immediately start to spin at the same rate. Like I was looking at I understand you can pivot a boat very fast. Like I understand that, but not from moving in one direction at a constant speed and then it just turns like that. Like usually when you see a boat like a cruise ship or a cargo in a bay pivoting, it's barely moving and then it shifts more this direction. Pickle Pete says, which way was the tide going? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should try to hunt down a nautical expert to bring on to the show. Not Pickle Pete, who's been out on a 42-foot sailboat. Rewilder Life says it was 1,000-foot boat. Like, I can't understand the scale. Like, I haven't been able to. And is that the thing? Tim and I and Corey talked about 9/11. John Palmer says tide goes in the laundry. Thanks, John, for your valuable input. Has anybody heard about the tide? Yeah, it goes through the laundry. Corey and I and Tim were talking about 9/11. We talked about all sorts of fun shit the other day. But that kind of really made me think just now. Rewilder Life says she's seen him in person. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them. I've seen them on video. I've seen them in person. I've been to like Duluth to the ports and that. And I've seen big cargo ships. I've seen ships in the St. Lawrence Seaway. Like I understand the size of these, but you have really no reference unless you've been on one. I don't think. I don't know. Reynolds wrap goes in the oven. Tide goes in the laundry. Reynolds goes in the oven, guys. Dixon's wondering if that's part of the new code. We didn't get the carrier pigeon to Canada to let you know the new code yet, Chris. Sorry. It should be getting there any day now. But I'm trying to wrap my head around this. But as we were sitting here talking about it, I'm wondering, is that the way that 9/11 happens? Is that the way the conspiracies can just ooze out of like 9/11 or this, where we're dealing with objects that, everybody has seen a plane. Most people, I shouldn't say most, a lot of people have been on a plane. But nobody really wraps their head around how big it is, how much it weighs, and momentum of speed. It's kind of like when you see the car crash test dummies. And you're like, the car goes and it smacks into the wall or it smacks into a car coming at it. And you're like, oh my God, that must have been going 150. They must have been going like 150 miles an hour. And they're like, crash reenacted at 20 miles an hour. Both cars are going 20 miles an hour. And now amplify that to, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds at like hundreds of miles an hour. Now, can you wrap your head around what's going to happen? I even had this come to Jesus moment when we had an accident with Corey's car. She had an owl fly down out of the median in the cities, and it was going. Actually, I don't know if it was on the side of the road or in the median, but it was swooping down across the lane to probably like grab a mouse or something. And it immediately went and it sucked right into the grill of her Subaru. And she followed me to work. I pulled the thing out and it was pretty intact. Like it broke its neck basically, and it didn't really break any of the structure in the front. Did we end up replacing the radiator?
We had to replace some of the fans. I don't know. It was like almost $2,000 damage.
It was a lot of damage, and somebody initially said, "Well, it was just an owl," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I picked that thing up, and it probably weighed, I don't know, like 8 pounds." 8 pounds, maybe. It wasn't a huge owl by any means. But then I started thinking about it. And if I took a bowling ball that was 8 pounds and you drove 60 miles an hour down the highway and I just tossed it out in front of you, not even threw it at you, just tossed it in front of you and you hit it, would it do any damage? Now, I understand that an owl isn't as hard as a bowling ball, but there isn't that much difference at that speed, I don't think. It's still mass and weight. Pickle P says, when you're next to a freighter in an 8-foot dinghy, it's like being next to a skyscraper. Right. Just the height, not let alone the length. So is this where people can just really twist up people's brain when they're like, that ship couldn't have moved that fast. That ship couldn't have turned that fast. Oh, it should have taken a lot longer to turn. And like, because you don't understand the concept of like that big of an object, you're like, oh yeah, without actually knowing the physics, if it cannot. Backwoods says people do it with animals. They know that pig is big, but didn't realize how fast they could move. I'm looking at this ship going, there's no way it could turn on a dime like that. But could it? I don't know. John Palmer says, ever see what a 16-ounce water bottle does to a windshield dropped off a bridge? I've never seen it, but I can imagine. Hunter says, how long did it actually take between them losing power and actually hitting the bridge? Because every video I've seen is sped up like 8 times. And that's what I'm wondering. How doctored the original video is. Was it time lapse to begin with? Did they speed it up even more? How much did they speed it up? But did you see that it lost power twice? It lost power, it came back, it lost power again, and I believe it came back right before it hit the bridge. I don't know. What else? I'm gonna hit this one thing real quick before we move on. It was a TikTok that Corey sent me, and it was kind of funny. The girl, it was a comedy thing. It wasn't. It's not the end of the world. It isn't a conspiracy where people died or anything. But it made me wonder if companies can pretty much say anything they want, put anything on their advertising, as long as they go the extra mile. This girl was talking about paper plates she got at Aldi. And if you're on TikTok, you might have seen this. It looked like she was going pretty viral with this video. But she had Aldi paper plates. And she's showing what's printed on the paper plates. And I imagine on the main package, it was like compostable paper plates, save the environment, blah, 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 blah. That was their hook to get you to buy them. Well, she was looking at the actual print on the paper plate, and this is what it said around the outside. You know how they print around the outside? Nobody ever fucking reads it. She read it. The first blurb said BPI certified or BPI free certified. Perfect. That's like big in the news. We don't want the chemicals leaching from our plates into our food, even though our food probably shouldn't be on the plate that long. But if you're storing leftovers in the, okay. Yep. Okay. BPI certified. The next phrase says commercially compostable only with an asterisk. Now, first of all, like Rachel says in the comments, because paper isn't compostable. Well, I'm guessing that these aren't paper completely because they say that commercially compostable only asterisk. And she's showing it on the video. This isn't like doctored or anything. Like, it's legit. You could probably go to Aldi and find the same paper plates. And so that makes me wonder what the asterisk is for. And she proceeds to tell us the asterisk next to it says facilities may not exist. Facilities may not exist. Pickle P says commercially compost means shredded and actively turned. I get it. But why are we adding in that the facilities may not exist? So these are like, I am going to start a product. I'm going to say this is the most environmentally friendly stainless steel French press you could buy. It's not going to damage the environment at all. It's completely compostable and recyclable if you take it to the proper facility that doesn't exist. Pickle Pete says they do exist in China, but they stopped taking our recycling barges. Yeah, I mean, why put anything on there? Just so they can say it's compostable. But is it really compostable if the facilities don't exist? Oh, they may not exist. My magic fairy dust recycling facility may not exist, but please send me all your fairy dust, please. Jesus Christ. Oh, it was amazing what's available in China and India when I was working for that startup doing tire or plastic pyrolysis. Plastic pyrolysis, we were doing it environmentally. We were doing it very close to environmentally sound. China and like the technology has been around forever. They've been burning tires like this in China and India for a long time. Tires, yeah, like rubber tires. We were doing it with film plastic, like grocery bags, shopping bags. They do it with rubber tires and the black smoke that comes out of them. But the process is kind of the same. I found out they just send our tires there. Like, we can't burn them here, so we'll just send them somewhere where we can. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, guys, we're over an hour here. Gonna wrap up. I got a couple of things on the list that could probably roll over to this TikTok. I saw it on TikTok Conspiracy tomorrow. If any of you guys have a topic you want me to touch on, I can search on TikTok. Gotta be conspiracy related or wackadoodle for sure. Just let me know. You can email me, info@thelotsproject.com. You can send me a message on Telegram. Join the Telegram group at t.me/lotschat. Yeah. Rewiler Life says, because China can't pollute, or we can't pollute, but China can. That's why we're BFFs. And, you know, as long as they put it up in the air in China, it will never get here, right? Because all the air over China just stays right over China, right? Oh, guys, we will we'll pick it back up tomorrow. I appreciate everybody listening, and if you enjoyed the show, do the free things. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. Sharing really helps. So if you share it with one of your friends and say, hey, you should listen to this guy in the morning because we laugh, we have fun, we have our coffee, and then our days are better, they might listen to you. So grab that link, share it with a friend, share the audio, share the live stream. I always like new commenters. That's great. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Hit thelotsproject.com. Look in the shop for comfrey and t-shirts and mugs and all sorts of fun stuff there. You can also find all my information, discount codes, affiliate links, partner companies, and all of that over there at thelotsproject.com. It's Thursday, guys. All you got to do is make it through one day. You got to make it through today, and you will be on to Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Tomorrow. Anyway, guys, have an awesome Thursday. Get a lot of shit done, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning.